Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are on your purpose. Hope you guys are conquesting yourself and other people around you and continuing to follow God's purposes and making sure that you are controlling yourself and under the utmost control as a masculine, high-value male. Well, my friends, today I want to step away. I didn't get a chance to go ahead and go through the shout-outs and all the topics and kind of go back to my list again. I wanted to kind of comment. I had a few people commenting, asking me about a situation that has been in the media a little bit. So I'll kind of talk about it because it kind of relates a lot to what we're talking about. But let's kind of also kind of mention, there was a question that someone gave me about my own type of journey. And I had started a lot of problems with images and things back when I was like 12, 13 years old. And it wasn't until I was able to get to 57, 58 years old that I finally figured out a way to stop it long term. And I'm over 1,000 days. And we'll talk more about that probably in another video. But we're going to talk about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, whether you like Tom Brady as a quarterback or not, you know, one of the all-time great quarterbacks in NFL history, just had a situation in which he got divorced, and all of a sudden, the next few weeks, you see his wife, ex-wife, you know, spending time with someone else. I think it was a trainer or something like that, and then all of a sudden, you know, he was very quiet and didn't say anything. Like most high-value males, they're just going to go on and, you know, continue in what they're doing and not kind of let anything bother them and just continue with their goals, which he was doing. And then all of a sudden now, it looks like, from what I'm understanding and what I'm reading, it looks like he's dating somebody else and he's over there trying to kind of have a different relationship. And it appears like that his ex-wife is all upset. This brings up so many types of issues, my friends, that I want you to understand. We're talking about our journey here. Let's kind of examine this and really kind of take a step back, because Tom Brady's situation, along with countless other males, it's the same type of situation, doesn't change. And we kind of want to see what the actual situation is and look at this. And so you could say good or bad things about Tom Brady. Any of us, you could say this. But let's look at men and women, for instance. Let's go back to the whole idea of the caveman. And warriors, remember that we go back to the basic first days of man and woman. And you're basically talking about the man having that job of going out and protecting and looking and providing, looking for food. And that's because the man is physically stronger, okay? So the idea is that as you're looking at trying to look at what men and women should be doing, you're focusing then on looking at this is what a man's role is. This is how evolution started, with the evolution of it. Now, we believe in evolution or God's law, things like that. I'm using evolution just in the case of how things moved along. So the thing is, as time goes on, as God has created, all of a sudden now you're looking at the man having to provide and protect, while the women were nurturing at home. So their images, their importance, identity, all these things go back into all the people around them and all the things around them. So everything is feelings and emotions and trying to have empathy and understanding. And so women are built with this type of nature. And you can call it God's purposes for them or nature, whatever you want to call it, and your creator's purposes, whatever terminology you want to use. But that's the bottom terminology. That's the line that men and women have. And so throughout the ages, you look at situations, of saying that men and women live according to this whole idea. Now, over the last 30, 40 years, they have tried to change men, and for many different reasons, and try to demasculize men to have more sensitivity and all those type of other things. But that is not really a man. That tends to be more of a feminine man, which is not something that we really kind of condone and want in our society. But what happens then is a lot of men tend to build their whole life on their career, on all the things they're doing, because that's what they're doing and providing and protecting. While women, since their teenage years, all of a sudden have all these sort of other things that they are involved with. They have multiple friends, multiple suitors, multiple people around them interested in them. And this will happen for the rest of their life. Women will have men, and if you don't think women have other options, even your wife, they might be dreaming you. Warriors, you got to wake up, male warriors. Women always, this is how women are. Women will never not have options. They may not tell you this, but they will never have options because they go back to the caveman days. They have to try to find ways to survive because physically, they don't feel like, they don't have that strength in 90% of the women that's as strong as men. So they have to try to find ways. So it's very rare you'll find someone. Now, you may find a strong person of faith who may stay very loyal to you, and that happens. But women will always have options, friends, whether it's female friends, male friends, whatever it might be, because they don't want to be alone. And this is their good side and downside. This is their positive and negative. Because in many cases, they need that validation. And if males are not giving them validation, they'll do anything for males. And this is why you see males who are strong, who can detach, get all the women they want. Because women will strive for that sort of validation from men, because that's important. Remember, they're in that, go back to that community, little community again. They're raising the kids, the cave kids, all those people. That's what women are doing, while the men are out there hunting and trying to figure out. So life began with a lot of those type of things because men are physically stronger. And so when you look at this situation with Tom Brady, you could see, well, Tom Brady basically is going ahead and saying, okay, I'm working for my career, and I want to continue my career. Now, it appears to me that his wife, obviously one of the problems that she had was the fact that he was kept playing football and did not want him to continue. And so basically, because she was making as much or more money than he was, I'm not sure, the bottom line is she decided to divorce him. But the idea was she doesn't recognize, a lot of these modern women don't recognize, that they've been brainwashed. They've been brainwashed to think that they don't need men. And all of a sudden, now she's realizing that she made a mistake. Because the bottom line really is that I don't care how much money you make. It doesn't matter if you got 5 houses, 5 homes, whatever it is. You're basically needing that validation. And this is why women do this social media stuff 10 times more than males do. Because they need the validation. And so this is why it's like a cat running around chasing their tail around and tail. They're never going to get it. Because the validation is something that comes from within. And if they don't feel strong about themselves, they're not going to go ahead and get that validation. And so basically what happens here is that Tom Brady now finds someone who looks like a younger type of woman and is moving on to a different situation, which is what most high-value masculine males do. And whether you like Tom Brady, whether you like his football, whatever it might be, when you look at how a man should react, he's reacting like most of us would react to. Okay, well, didn't work out. I'm not chasing any of her. Forget about her. It's time to move on. And it's a sad thing when you have the kids, but those are the types of things that you have to do. And once again, he's detaching from the old relationship, and he started a new one. I think it's comical to kind of think about the situation where she can go ahead and have, relations right after with some sort of trainer, but once he starts doing it, now she's all upset, and now it's a big deal. And it's only because women don't really realize that this spell that they've cast on males doesn't last forever. And in fact, most of the males now are figuring out it's a spell. And they can actually get away from the spell anytime they want to. And they have to realize that if the woman doesn't fit into their plans, into their goals, then all of a sudden they don't want that type of woman. It's more not about how it looks now, it's about how the goals are. And this is why you're seeing more and more women in their 40s and 50s who are by themselves, lonely, upset, angry, because men are not dating them. Men are not going out with them. Men are not wanting part of this. And it's a smart move by Warriors. Because what happens then is you got a woman who may look great, but they've been run through by so many different males that all of a sudden they're not worth anything. Plus they're toxic because of all the anger of all the relationships that they've had. And it's important to understand what you're looking for. And so Brady's situation is a very interesting one, because this whole idea is that women are out there looking for the highest value male they can find. Well, I don't know how much more value you can find than in football and Tom Brady. I mean, this is really kind of ridiculous how she can be so arrogant in the thought pattern. And you go back to the old days where you didn't get a divorce at all. I don't care, unless you had some kind of sexual immorality. And basically it looks like that she was on that side, because she hung out with her trainer right away, right after that. It's amazing to me to see the situation where now she's the one upset because he's basically going ahead and do it. Let's look at the bottom line about this whole deal. Most women, they become successful and attractive because of their looks, especially if you look at OnlyFans and you look at these type of things where women are out there modeling and things like that. Yes, these women are going to complain and probably chew me out on this type of thing. Oh yeah, it takes a lot of effort to walking down the aisle and everything. Yeah, I don't disagree. There's some skill in that as well, but nothing. I played football, nothing compared to what Brady's done over all the years. And so when you look at this, it's entertainment, but Brady has worked very hard because he's a hard-working person. No one can deny that. You can look at faults he may have, but no one can deny that. My understanding is also a strong Christian person. Whether you like that or not, he's still a strong-minded person. He's from my understanding, also loyal to his family. Now, maybe I was wrong about all that. That's information I've gotten. And maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. But the bottom line is you can't deny the fact that as soon as they got divorced, next few weeks, she's hanging out with some other guy. And so you kind of know, you can just put two and two together, figure out what happened here. But the bottom line really is that he didn't say anything. He handled it the right way. And basically what's happening is that she's basically now upset because he's moved on from her. And now she's realized that, whether this thing works out with this trainer or not that she had, he probably was just kind of using her. And all of a sudden now Brady's got a different model. Who knows what's going to happen with his ex-wife? Because it looks she'd probably be one of those people, like a lot of these other category women now in the 40s and 50s, who now has hit the wall, and she'd probably hit the wall a little bit later because she's a model, but still hitting the wall. And a lot of guys who are her age, they're not going to want to go out with her. They want to go out with the younger ones, no matter how good she looks. And especially if she's been through situations and has kids and all that. I see so many single moms in their 30s and 40s with kids, and it's just a red flag for a lot of males. Yeah, they may find someone, but it's not the person they want, and they're going to be miserable. They're not going to be happy, and they're going to be in a situation where they just don't want to be. But they're going to be fantasizing about you males, the males who are the ones who are the attaching males who are doing their own thing. They're going to be fantasizing about the Warriors. They're not going to fantasize about these simps, because the simps will do anything for them. And eventually, that's not what they want. They think they want the security, but it gets boring, and all of a sudden now they go back to their friends and all the people they hang out with. So what is the moral of our story here with Brady? The moral story is that you realize, first of all, that women will always have options. I think Jordan Peterson said that women all cheat. I think it's probably in some ways they do. I'm not necessarily saying they're all sleeping with other men and married people like myself. If you think that's the case, then that's a sad situation. But I will say this much: are other women, even married ones, other warriors, looking at other men? Of course they are. I think once somebody told me, he said, if you're not looking, you're dead. I don't care how old you are. If you think your girlfriend and wife are not noticing other men, then you're fooling yourself. And the same thing happens with women. Women know, and actually women, their eyes are focused differently. Going back to the caveman days, they can see things better than men can, especially out of the corner eyes, because they are looking for, they want to protect themselves. And they know if you're talking to another female or things are happening because they can see that. And they understand that if women are threats. And let me tell you, in all my conversations with women over the years, they're not upset with men. They're more worried about being jealous from other women taking their men, because they realize how women are. And women fight very dirty when it comes to getting men. So the whole thought pattern here, going back to Tom Brady again, is the idea is that A, realize that you're focusing on trying to make sure that you understand that women are all going to be out there building the networks, social media and things like that. Because in case it doesn't work out with you, even if you're married for a long time, it doesn't work out, they're always going to have other things besides that. Now, if you've married the right way, if you married the right type of woman, then you got a chance to have a minimum. But if you think that none of that's happening, then I would say you got to go back and take a look at that, warrior. Take a step back and realize how women are. Women's nature goes back to that little community we talked about, where they're all supporting each other. If you don't think that women tell the women about experiences with you, that once again, I would say, open the box up a little bit and think some more, because women need other people. They need that, and that's why women tend to live longer than men, because men are focused so much on their identity comes from their work. This is why I say you got to get into hobbies, get into other things, goals you have for the rest of your lives, because you don't want to be focused just on your work. But in the past, men have done that, and they die earlier. Women can live a long time because of the social networks and things that they're in. So as you look at this, you're focusing really on trying to understand that Brady's situation is A, he handled it the right way. B, remember that women are going to be in this situation where they're going to have other options. So don't get fazed by it. Go back to our samurai's sword person and actually go ahead and learn from this, and learn that the idea is that you have to detach. So he did a good job of detaching. Now, yes, I think he was affected by this playing football. When I watched him a few times last year, you could see a different level. But I think certainly if he had played again this year, you'll probably see him going back, at least mentally, to the same type of thing he had. And what you got to do is you got to stay focused. Now, it's hard when you're family, kids, and you're divorcing. But you got to go ahead and stay focused on what you're doing. Look to always continue to better yourself. Don't worry about women and all their networking and all the things they're doing. You can't stop any of that. Women by nature are going to do that. But if you become the highest value male and you go your own life and you do your own thing, none of that will bother you. And it shouldn't bother you, because all that stuff is kind of nonsense and other games that people play to kind of validate themselves. So there's a number of lessons here to be learned. Obviously, detaching yourself, handling it the right way, moving on, and trying to figure out what are the goals. And obviously, this new person he might be with is someone that he's trying to better. His goals for what he's looking for are, and that's great. And that's, kudos to him on handling the situation the right way. Don't waste your time going back and forth with an ex-wife, ex-girlfriend. I think someone asked me about this with, and I'll probably do another one on this too, because we did do one on the ex-girlfriends. But the idea is that, do you really want this ex-girlfriend? In Brady's case, I don't care how good looking she is, Giselle, I wouldn't be part of it. I'd leave it, let it go. Let it go. Because obviously if she wants to come back, she's going to do it again. And again and again. And the bottom line is that she's not happy that he is not listening to her. It's more of a control thing than anything else. And you'll find with a lot of women, it becomes a control issue. And women should not be in control. This is my thought pattern. And once again, I'm probably going to get hit on this one. But women should not be in control. Most women do not know how to, because they're not sure what they're looking for and what they want. Their emotional level changes so much. Especially during the month when they're having their periods and things like that, they change. And so having control, they don't know what they want. And so this is why being a simp is the worst thing in the world you can do. Because the whole idea is that you're following somebody who doesn't know what the hell they want. And most women don't know what they want. They want this today, they want that tomorrow. This is why men need to lead women. And as I was talking to my wife, men and women need to be submissive both ways. Men are submissive in providing and protecting, giving. Women need to be submissive in those other areas. Physical intimacy. Men need to be dominant. And women need to understand that. And you're seeing more and more women now, and I see it, they understand this. Because they know they're not getting the men. And they're trying to figure out, why am I not getting dates? Why are men just ghosting me? Why am I not, even though I divorced somebody, all of a sudden, I'm still not happy. And now they're happy. Because the bottom line is, women need to understand that they need men more than men need women. Of course, men need women for certain things, but not to the level of validation. And if you need validation that high, you're not a masculine male. I'm sorry. That's just not what it is. If you need that validation to that level, you're a simp. And I go back to the simp behavior. It's not so much that I don't like simp people, but it's simp behavior that I don't like. Because I demonstrated that for years myself. All right, my friends, enough of this. I wanted to kind of talk about this because it was something that kind of hit me, and I was thinking about this. All right, so anyway, we'll continue our list tomorrow and continue doing what we're doing. Until tomorrow, my friend, 2 things. Every day is a new day to a wise warrior, a great warrior. You guys are all great warriors. And remember, guys, to battle